As part of the EU Green Deal's target of making the continent climate neutral by 2050, the conservation and restoration of biodiversity will be, of course, key. This is not simply due to green romanticism, and not even because of the undeniable importance of preserving the ecosystemic balance to avoid a sixth mass extinction. From the social and economic perspective alone, half of the world's gross domestic product depends on nature. In numbers, 40 trillion euro. Thus, in order to ensure the economy doesn't collapse, and therefore society, the EU Green Deal is aiming to establish protected areas that will cover 30% of the land in the continent, as well as 30% of the European seas. Not only that, it will work on restoring degraded ecosystems at land and sea by, among others, planting 3 billion trees by 2030, halting and reversing the decline of pollinators, and restoring at least 25,000 kilometers of EU rivers to a free-flowing state. To reach this, the EU will unlock 20 billion euro per year for biodiversity, and will integrate natural capital and biodiversity considerations into business practices. The biodiversity policy approach of the EU Green Deal will be further boosted by the objectives of another policy centered in sustainable rural development, the From Farm to Fork strategy. For instance, the excess of nutrients in the environment is a major source of air, soil, and water pollution, negatively impacting biodiversity and climate. Thus, by 2030, From Farm to Fork's aims to reduce nutrient loss by at least 50%, while ensuring no deterioration on soil fertility, and to reduce fertilizer use by at least 20%. Furthermore, it will decrease the use and harmfulness of pesticides by half, while strongly looking into the organic farming sector, aiming for it to grow and cover, by 2030, 1/4 of the European farmland. Further steps will include the investment of over 10 billion euros in research and development related to food, bioeconomy, natural resources, agriculture, fisheries, aquaculture, and the environment. Finally, From Farm to Fork will work on a sustainable food labeling framework to facilitate consumer choice, and by 2023, on dramatically cutting food waste by half, with legally binding targets across the EU.